Yeah, we have had to lower the performance of the whole stream, but we'll hopefully have it be functional. And yeah, those of you who have stuck around past the disconnection, thank you. Let me know when you are back in whether things are working. Seems to be stable on our end, but it's kind of hard to tell if that will stick long term. Okay, we totally blew that. Hang on. Yeah, the ads are fine, okay. Yeah, it probably is just my internet over here, but hopefully not my computer overheating or something. That would be the worst case scenario. Okay, we seem to have done something bad to that crate over there on the right side. Blown it up somehow and lowered it. I think it was probably just some kind of collision. Whoops. Yeah, those of you who have managed to stick around, thank you. I am still seeing a few issues on my side, I think, so we may have to do a slightly bigger network reset. Yeah, this only started really happening to us severely within the past week or so, and so I haven't quite located the source of the problem yet. But yeah, hopefully it holds up from here. Oh, lost that, but we have the Fire Flower preserved this time, so we are in significantly better shape than we usually are. Getting up to this point, there's a pipe that's going to spawn a spike ball. Okay, we're no longer in as great shape. Got rid of the bones, at least. Okay, we don't want to accidentally blow up the crates or anything like that. Okay, clear pipe. That would have looked promising if we actually had access to it. We do not have access to it because we blew up. No, we didn't just blow up the left side. It actually stopped because we have the question blocks and the pipes on the left side. Okay, the lag stopped. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that remains the case. And once again, those of you who stuck past the disconnection, thank you for doing so. I know that, like, every time this happens, I do lose a bit of the audience and lose some of the people who are waiting patiently to be played, and so always very unfortunate, but internet service is what it is, and hopefully running this at 30 FPS is not too hard on your eyes. Oops. I lost a Fire Flower. That's a bit of an issue, but... Oh, we didn't even pick up the cannon box. Okay. Hang on. Let's see if we can go back. Except we popped the question block, so that's no use. Okay. So we just need to come back in here. And... Whoa, okay. I think we just kind of blew that at the very last minute. Okay, you say when it goes across the entire area like that, you can go to the wall and try to wall jump. Okay. Hang on. I'm seeing pretty severe lag on my end again, so let's see if that recovers. Okay, we just might need to take a bit of a longer reset and just kind of check my whole network. I will let you know if I need to do that, because that would mean a break of a couple minutes. And you know, I do want to make sure that you get a decent, clean recording of this level as I play through it. But I'm kind of playing through this badly because I'm trying to monitor the network issues at the same time. I should probably just keep my eyes on the level for now and hope that settles down. Okay, let's wait for this one to pop, and then we will take this series of obstacles. Duck here. Okay, having a nice little crouch jump over the previous one seemed to work. We seem to have messed it up on the second one afterwards, but... Okay, let's grab the cannon box, like last time. Oh, yeah, got smoked by that as usual. But yeah, that's very true that we are underusing the wall jumps when it comes to gaining plenty of height to get above the fire. That's something that is an option. Oh, once again, mistimed our attempt at grabbing a new cannon box. So yeah, we see now on the left side that, and on the right side as well, that you have basically 2 blocks worth of protrusions that stop the, what is it, the blasters on the left and right side from ascending further, and then that's what prevents you from entering that glass pipe later. So later on, that clear pipe is going to deliver something from the left side, and we don't know what yet, although I assume that it might be something like a spike ball. Reserve the Fire Flower for once. Fire Flower plus Cannon Box, we are in significantly better shape. We will, however, pause for just one moment to deal with a reward redemption, so YMN can see what Read Shakespeare does. So just give me 1 second while I pull up the appropriate source. Alex has selected number 50 with his loyalty points. We'll get back to the level in just 1 moment. We'll just take this cash in very briefly. And actually, I have improved the display of this reward for those of you who have seen this before on the channel. We now have this little improvement here, where you can see me deliver a speech. Okay, so sonnet number 50. How heavy do I journey on the way, when what I seek, my weary travel's end, doth teach that ease and that repose to say. Thus far the miles are measured from thy friend. The beast that bears me, tired with my woe, plods dully on, to bear that weight in me. As if by some instinct the wretch did know his rider loved not speed, being made from thee. The bloody spur cannot provoke him on, but sometimes anger thrusts into his hide, which heavily he answers with a groan, more sharp to me than spurring to his side. For that same groan not put this in my mind. My grief lies onward, and my joy behind. Okay, so thank you for redeeming that, Alex. I will mark that as complete, and then we will head back to the level. That poem, of course, mostly about riding a horse, would have, I think, been much more suitable for streaming Breath of the Wild, but we will make do with what we can. So let me manage the reward request, tick that off, and back to the Elevator of Fire. Can a cannon box blast hard blocks? I believe it can. It has the same power as a bomb from what I remember, but the bullet hat does not. The bullet hat's... oh, no, actually, maybe it does. Maybe it does. I'm trying to remember if it does, because I tested some of this stuff. But I haven't played with it quite enough to have a very consistent idea. Okay, so let's hit this. Grab the cannon box. Great, got it safely. we don't really have an opportunity to check the hard blocks to the left anyway. Oh. After talking for so much about how the blasters drop off to the left side, of course we just fall directly into that trap. And yeah, YMN, I'm glad you enjoyed that particular channel reward. We'll try to come up with some other ones as well. I keep telling people that, but you know, I thought it would be a fun and unique idea, and people keep using that for their reward points when they could be saving up for something like Skip the Queue instead, so I assume that some people around here enjoy that. Whoops. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Let's clear some of the Goombas on the side, and just kind of be careful about how we are zoned out by the fire. Wow, that Piranha on the left is very well defended. Okay, a little bit chaotic here, but we managed to survive as Super Mario, so Dry Bones is going to be a bit of an issue, given that we were not able to blast him completely out. Yeah, there's a glass pipe we were talking about earlier. Nice, nice. That was a wall jump that gave us just enough clearance. Oh, on off, on off. What's going to trigger it? Is this timer based, or did we miss a switch? I think we missed a switch. I think that it had something to do with the clear pipe, that you had to maybe shoot through it using the cannon box or the fireball. So yeah, there... Whoops. Oh, why am my channel points called Q-tips? Okay, so... I mean, if you really wanted to, wax your ears with them or something, I suppose. No, they're called Q-sticks because Q-sticks are something that, as you can see by the 10-point Scrabble tile on the letter Q, it is a unique tactical situation in the game of Scrabble when a player holds a Q on their rack at the end of the game and has no place to get rid of it, because the Q is, of course, extremely difficult, more difficult indeed than keeping the cannon box going into this zone. And so the kind of familiar term around competitive players is that they refer to that as a Q-stick, and it's a situation that is not much liked, but leads to some very interesting endgame strategy. So that is the story behind the name of the reward points. And yeah, I did see that I have to shoot a cannon in there. I think when it comes to stuff like that, the idea is fine, but you don't want to put the player in a situation where they are already dead, but they don't know it for the next 20 or 30 seconds. Like, I think that's something that is sometimes a little bit difficult to work with in terms of design, right? Like, if the player has failed the condition that allows them to pass the level, they should know right away that they failed. Like, they should not have to kind of wait to find that out. And you know, it's sometimes a very difficult thing to design around, because even Nintendo made that mistake from time to time back in Super Mario World. They did that at least once. So I'm thinking of the level... Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but I replayed Super Mario World recently, and in the special world, there is that one level called Way Cool, which is like the origin of the whole concept of using on-off switches to control a series of tracks. And that level is actually one that makes precisely that mistake, like where if you have the tracks in the wrong configuration, you actually are dead, but you don't know it for the next 30 seconds. And it really sticks out as a design error, I guess, that modern Nintendo would just never make anymore. And yeah, Hyperion Smokestack. Yeah, Scrabble is a very tactically interesting game when you see it at competitive levels. I may start streaming it at some point. Like, I'm not a top player, but some of the really high-level tournament players have recently started to live stream it, and they'll also be live streaming a weekly tournament over the next few weeks. And so sometimes if you come by my channel, I do host their channels when they are on. I don't really broadcast it yet, but that's something that we may make time for if, you know, that's something that would interest people. As a little break from Mario Maker from time to time.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's give this a few more attempts. This is, to my knowledge, a level that still has the first clear available. And so we are going to make a fairly concerted attempt at it. So those of you who are in queue, thank you for your patience in waiting and also your patience with the disconnections that we had earlier. But we will try to give this at least a few more attempts to see, because I think everything in the second zone here is fundamentally doable for our skill level. Like, I don't feel like it's too hard or anything like that. It's just very chaotic in a way that requires us to be precise. Particularly because we now know that we are not allowed to lose at least the second cannon box. So we do need to keep the cannon boxes for as long as we are able. Wow, that was close. Indeed, it wound up being a miss. Okay, managed to get rid of the dry bones at least. Oh, and we lost the cannon box. And you see, that's the issue there, is that, like, we now know we are dead. But it takes a while until we get up to the very top of this zone for us to realize that we are, in fact, dead. Oh, you work in board games, okay. What... I mean, I don't know if you care to tell us about what sector of board games, or what genre? But, yeah, I find board game design to be something that's very fascinating, but, you know, it's just kind of the nature of a lot of hobby games that because they are designed to be learned quickly by a party that you can throw together, where, you know, like a lot of people spend a social experience with board games just learning the rules for a while, that it does seem to take a while for them to develop the kind of critical mass that would have a scene that really knows how to exploit the metagame, you know, and really knows how to play at an advanced level. Notice how the Charvarg actually blocks the cannon box from shooting the Goombas. Like, when the Charvarg was overlapping the Goombas, it was shielding the Goombas. That's something I did not know. And we lost. Okay. Yeah, I think we are just dead, but I'll try to read what's going on with the glass pipe. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think this is manageable. I think the main issue with it is that you have such a distance between the last cannon box and the clear pipe. Like, I think it's already going to be a challenge to fire into the pipe accurately, and so the fact that you have a fairly lengthy wait before you kind of hit the dead stop of the on-off switches, like, that becomes a bit of a problem. At this point, I also don't know if there's going to be much more past... Whoops, we missed a cannon box. Past this zone here, once we leave the vertical subworld. Like, we don't know if there's more content in the horizontal subworld. Oh. Miss. Okay. So we'll give this a few more attempts. It really does look manageable. And if we don't manage to finish this immediately, because I would like to get through more of the queue, you are absolutely welcome to resubmit it, and we'll try to kind of give this another try near the end of the stream. Or later when the queue begins to thin out a bit, so... Oops. Oh, missed a cannon box. It's actually very easy to miss that. I know it looks like an absolutely silly little mistake on our end, but it's very easy to just kind of tap your way into that pipe when you are trying to clear that zone, so... Yeah, if you tried this level yourself, you would realize, like, you know, for such a silly thing, it's surprisingly difficult to avoid doing that. Yeah, I play a number of modern board games. Like, they, and I know what you're talking about, like the kind of whole side of the industry that is, like I know what you're talking about, like in terms of the big hobby board games, rather than the old perennials that are kind of mostly tied up in all kinds of intellectual property nightmares. But okay.
Oh no!
Yeah, well, we have at least made our way up to the on-off blocks once, and so I feel like, you know, the one thing that we do need to do here is just to survive long enough with cannon box to fire through the clear pipe. If we do that, I think everything else here is pretty manageable. I'm not overly concerned about it. Okay, we're going to make it much more consistently with the Fire Flower. I was trying to pull back on that jump this time. You see, I see why I'm making that mistake now. It's because I'm always pulling to the left to get off that conveyor belt. And if I'm pulling to the left to get that conveyor belt, then I dash right into the pipe, instead of picking up the cannon box off that little 2-space gap there. So, let's just try to clear some room. That's going to go very badly. That's going to go quite badly as well.
Oh no!
And yeah, we'll see if we can get like one good solid attempt. That fell apart rather quickly, considering that I managed to get to the second part safely with the Power of Fire in hand. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, this is going quite badly. It's more that when you have the Podoboos and the Charvarg zone you out at the same time, you get into a little bit of trouble. Like, if there were some kind of clearer visual marker of where the Podoboos were going to be, it would be easier to play around them, I think. But, you know, 3D World is aesthetically a little bit restricted when it comes to that. Whereas, in the main styles, you'd be able to mark out a column like that safely just using a mushroom platform or something, right? Or another decorative element. Because then you could at least visualize, okay, this is the column that I need to avoid. Here, I can see that the Podoboos are kind of 2 spaces from the end on either side. But that's very hard to visualize when you're also watching the Charvarg at the same time. I think that's mainly the issue, is that you do run into situations where you are completely zoned out from the entire horizontal platform. And, yeah. A bit difficult to play around that, but...
Oh no!
I don't think black or red blasters matter in this context. Visibility is not the issue here. Oh, the black blasters, yeah, putting the black blasters on the appropriate columns, yes, for a visual indicator. Yes, I agree with that. That would actually be a very good visual indicator. Oh, Thomas, I don't know why the code was obstructed by the automod. Let me get that in. Thank you for coming back, by the way. We did actually clear the Champions Road remake. We got that over the weekend. You might have seen the clear. I don't know if you saw the video, but it is from our backlog VODs from Saturday, so spent about an hour and a half on it in the end. But we got it. But yeah, a Black Blaster on the appropriate column to mark the Potoboos would have been very helpful. Okay, we gotta run over there for the next cannon box. We're gonna miss it.
Oh no!
Okay, one more attempt, and we will move on. It's doable, it's just not doable right now. It looks like we're going to need quite a bit more work to kind of just have a clean attempt to dodge everything properly. So we'll move on in a moment. But I'll try to make this attempt the best one possible. Yeah, and if we do, in fact, miraculously progress, we will actually take this further. But let's try to get past it first. Yeah, and again, thank you for offering me the first clear, even though we are making a little disaster out of this. Yeah. Yeah, totally got sniped there, so. Thank you for that. That is a fun concept. I think it's definitely a bit busy with the Potoboos in this zone, and that the visual clarity, again, of where they're going to come up could be something that's improved. Likewise, with the kind of distance between the failure condition of losing the cannon box on a second half and when you run into the on-off blocks way above. Like, I find that, you know, I wasn't really able to see that as the requirement for clearing the course the first time I got that high. But otherwise, like, I had fun with the concept. So, like, this is something that maybe you want to revise, but good luck to whoever gets the first clear. Okay, let's see who is still around here with us, given that we have endured not only that level for about half an hour, but also a series of disconnections. Thomas B. request Toad. We'll switch to Toad. You can see I still have exclamation marks on my World Maker because I have not even touched it yet. Now, Wario Time. Is it still Wario Time? I think Wario Time didn't have to leave us. But yeah, between all the network issues today and our abject failure to pass that one just now, I totally understand if people have had to desert. Okay, let's see if the bot is actually going to read that removal. There we go. Oh, Progan, I didn't know you put your clear check videos on YouTube. We will not resort to them, of course, because we have been figuring things out ourselves. And yeah, even with the lowered frame rate, our network is getting absolutely killed here. So we might have to do another reset in just a sec before we get to the next level, but Hacklecough, you are still here. I believe Hacklecough may have left. Supreme Grounder, thank you for following. As I said earlier, you are absolutely welcome to resubmit the level that we had to abandon on this stream or another one. So, yeah, let me just pull up the next level that's online, and we'll see. Yeah, Hyperion, Fire Emblem was definitely something that preoccupied us for quite a while as well. I have done 3 routes so far on hard, plus the expansion. I don't know if you've looked into Cindered Shadows yet. Yeah, I know you're still here. So why don't we punch in 9 kg? All 9 kilograms of it. FRM. X. 6 and G. And the stream will hopefully hold up. Okay, Bowser's Clockwork Chaos Castle. Explore each room and grab the loot you need while escaping devious traps. 1.75%, about 3 minutes. And yeah, we know how much you love boss battles, and I see from the previous screen we are going to be in for some more. Or at least one more. So, let's take a look. Yeah, there's absolutely no hurry. I don't know which house you were doing first. For your first route. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fine, and probably even a good idea to just kind of learn the vanilla game first before even thinking about any of the expansion content. Okay, so it looks like these are each gated by some kind of power-up. Like, this would be a mushroom to stomp through, this would be by fire, this would be by a POW, although I gotta wonder about this. So let's go down to pipe and then take this as a series of challenges that will dispense power-ups for us. Yeah, there we go. There's a mushroom, and that's going to be our first little bit of progression. We're just going to hit this block, knock the mushroom up, and it's going to be delivered. And we're just going to toggle the on-off state because... oh no, we can't. We need that position in order to get back out. And okay. Here we go. Now let's grab the flower. Yeah, Claude is a lot of fun. Yeah, I actually did Claude last. I went Black Eagles first, Lions second, and Claude third. Okay, so we need to get to the Fire Flower, and to do that, we'll drop it using these switches. I see, just a series of time challenges where you go around a cycle, hit things accurately. I should have waited for that to expire, but hitting the POW will at least release the munchers. Oh, no, I don't want it to expire because I want to hit the POW. Okay. I gotta redo this. Nope, nope. Just hit the on-off. No, I have to redo this. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, we have to actually hit this thing accurately, though. But we'll need to exit the room and restart it. No, I saw too late there that I needed the P-switch to be active in order to hit the POW. But we understand the whole thing now. We just don't have the flexibility to take any more hits. So round and round we go. We wait for that to expire. I see it's timed out such that you do need to run around a firebar circle every single time. That's fine, it's not too many repetitions. It is a bit of a jump accuracy test as you stop and go. Let's take these out. Drop through to wherever we acquire the POW. We're gonna acquire the POW. Oh, guess we have to get back over here. Now, I don't see why we can't just step out immediately with the POW. Oh, because the on-off state spawn blocks these guys, okay. Right, okay. So this seems like a time survival challenge where we just need to wait for the passage to clear until the on-off switches at the bottom are activated. So it's pure time survival. Okay. Whoops. Got poked in the shroom there. Must be a very sensitive, painful spot for Toad. And okay, next bomb should do it. And we are going to be through. The spawn block will prevent the munchers from dropping on our heads, and it will also lower this passage to the boss room. Checkpoint. Power up. And yeah, let's make our way through. Okay, we've got 85 seconds remaining in order to do this in one segment. Might be a bit of a tall order, but it looks like this is also time survival as we wait for the bomb to make it all the way across the on-off switch. So we'll just endure this. Looking at a timer, I think we'll have enough time. We just need to not die. Yeah, I think I'd rather hug this corner, because then I deal with Bowser, but then I don't really deal with the Magic Koopa on the left. We also only have to deal with one cat bullet, or not cat bullet rather, but one, yeah, you know what I mean. One bullet. Now, why do I... Okay, I guess I should hit the P-switch. Hitting the P-switch will lower that. Drops Bowser. Now, how do we get the kill from here? Okay, oh no, there's the key door. Okay. And then we have a whole bunch of shells on the bottom. You start nuking him with shells. Okay. So, not quite a one-shot. And not quite a survival fight, but it is a multi-phase boss fight. I do think the appropriate strategy is to hug the left side here, as long as we don't accidentally wall jump like we just did. So we block one bullet spawn, and we also don't have to deal too much with the Magic Koopa up top. Okay. Let's wait this out. Nice short hop there. Too bad we lost a flower earlier, but we will still make it through with what we have. So we wait for the Magic Koopa to be lowered. We know that the bullets will dispense shells from there. The blasters, rather, will dispense shells. We'll hit the P-switch. Lower Bowser, and then let's get rid of that guy. That was maybe not the most stylish way to get rid of that guy. Okay. Then we just need to hit Bowser with some shells, I think. Okay. Oh, got shot in the face. Okay. We'll just need to steer clear of the ground. And you can see from all the death markers in that spot that I was certainly not the only one to lose right there. Okay. And yeah, let's hug the left again. And wait this out. From sorry, this position, it looks like we don't need to worry too much about Bowser's firing arc. Just kind of wait this one out. And we will be able to make our way to the P-switch soon enough with the flower in hand, which won't be any use against the Buzzy Beetles, but potentially be of use first against the Magic Koopa and secondly against Bowser. Whoops. Okay, no more. Alright, let's just be careful with the blaster location from the left there. Yeah, I always appreciate multi-phase fights. They It'd be quite a bit of fun, so let's kind of stay safe. Not get hit in the face. Okay, now that we've cleared most of the shells at the bottom, this looks pretty manageable. It takes a lot of hits from the shells, that's all. Okay. Yeah, you're not thrilled with how easy I've made the first phase. Well, that's okay. I mean, not everybody is going to approach it in that way. I approach it that way because I'm always looking for little optimizations like that, but I think in general, a lot of players are probably just going to try to control center with this fight and really have to dodge everything. Whoops. Yeah, okay, you see as soon as I put a lunge for the center just to try something out, that did not work out quite as well. But, I mean, it still requires you to stay on your toes a bit. But, you know, that's why we test. That's why you send me specifically these levels. As I do look for stuff like that. Okay, we did fortunately let the bullet on the left side fire once. Have to stop picking up the P-switch by accident. Okay, let's get rid of Magic Koopa as soon as we can. Don't want him to stick around too long. Okay, that clears some space at least. Whoops. Watching. Whoops. Yeah, a lot going on the screen, but it is kind of surprising how much more technically demanding the boss is relative to the rest of the level. Like, the level up to this point is very simple, I think. Very straightforward in terms of just running around and dodging fire bars. And that's okay, it's just that you can notice that the boss is very much the main feature of this castle, and a significant step up. Yeah, I actually don't think, looking at this, that we would have been able to beat him with the original 80 seconds that we had left, just given how many shell hits he takes in the second phase. So why don't we just go back to our safe method? I don't know why I do that. Yeah, not so much like a Cuphead boss. A Cuphead boss, I think... Well, some of the bosses in Cuphead took me well over an hour. I think Grim Matchstick took me over a number of attempts that were kind of broken up across play sessions. Probably took me about 2 hours the first time. But... yeah. As you can probably guess, I rather adore Cuphead. I thought it was very much my kind of thing. All about these complex multi-phase setups and lots of consistency on part of the player. So, well, kind of like a, you know, MMO raid bosses except single player. Like, that's what Cuphead was like. Because you would think about these patterns in terms of, like, you know, your progression through the fight. Like your progression in terms of phases and percentage and so on, and kind of learn things a phase at a time. I found it to be a very engaging experience. Okay, this is getting a little bit busy down here. Gotta clear out some space. Whoa. Okay, this is now a bit of a risk. Okay, a little more manageable. There's a certain rhythm to that blaster, and we'll just play around it and pass the boss. 160 remaining. Sure, let's grab some 1-ups. You, and you. And, Progan, thank you for cashing in that loyalty reward. We will accept that. And those who are waiting in queue, thanks for bearing with that, because we are going to accept that redemption and get back to the level that we started with. But that will be expedited by the fact that we did figure out a lot of that level already, so... Thank you for Bowser's Clockwork Chaos Castle. And thank you for the GG. Hey, Lecter, hope you're doing well. Lecter, we've had a whole bunch of connection issues again today, but they seem to have settled down. Now, just one moment while I manage to queue to allow Progan to cash in loyalty reward. I hope the price on that seems fair. Like, it was kind of originally set when the stream was quite a bit smaller. And we're still small, but we kind of making our way through it. Let me just get my Warp World bot working again. I can actually see the queue. Everything's loading slowly for me. Yeah, just one moment. I have to pull this up properly. There we go, it's loading now. And yeah, we'll oh, thank you for that. Thank you for the raid, Paxman. Good to see you here. YMN, what happens if you purchase change character? Exactly what happened when that was purchased earlier. I switched to one of the other characters until the next redemption and for a minimum of 1 level, which is why we have been playing as Toad for the last little bit. So yeah, thank you once again, Paxman, and your crew for coming in. We are in the middle of what will hopefully remain a stable hero level stream once I get Warp World to work appropriately and allow me to cash in its loyalty reward, so... Yeah, sorry about the holdup, we just have to get Warp World working. And even if not, I can punch in Progan's code manually. It's just that I would like everything to display accurately on the bot. We'll mark this level from Hyperion as a win, first of all. And so some of you that are queued up behind, Spolo, YMN, Alex, etc. Yeah, bear with us while we bump Progan up front. I'll try to be a little more efficient about actually redeeming this. And yeah, for those of you coming in, our queue is definitely still open. And I appreciate the cheering. Okay, we've got that sorted out. Let's hit next.
Sploosh.
Yep. Yes, Lemonade, we appreciate every drop of support. Oh, Loops and Snoop, good to see you here as well. I don't think I've actually played any of yours on stream yet. I do know about your levels, of course. But let's get back to 6WQ. XND. And... sorry, lots of codes coming up my chat. I need to get this straight. GKF. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lubin Soup, I think we've just been watching a lot of the same streams, so we've probably come across each other in chat or from talking about tech. Okay, so this is a resubmission of P-Bouncer, which was the level that we started this stream with. Until we found something that our creator wanted to fix. So this latest version will just try to break this thing once again. Lubin Snoop, the Kaboom is one of the other alerts. Might be able to guess which one. It is heard less often than the Sploosh, but that is very much the way it was originally in Wind Waker, and so we'll keep it that way. So, okay. Yeah, so we worked out a lot of the solutions to this level earlier on, which is why we'll kind of breeze through the early parts, which are all about this interaction of bumping the P-switch. And yeah, so we're going to bump the P-switch over, drop the trampoline on top because we know that is safe, drop the Muncher on top of that, if we can do that safely. I'm notoriously bad at the shield bump input. Done it so many times in so many levels, and yet we still have trouble with it, so. But we are through. Now this is actually a really good tutorial zone now that I see what comes after it. Because the actual challenge zones past the usable checkpoint make use of all of this tech. We accidentally landed there. Also makes use of the fact that you have to climb on one side of Divine in the SMB1 style. Hang on, let's look under. This over. There we go. And okay. So let's bump that. And yeah, if you think I sound vaguely familiar, I am told that apparently, well, from the what I'm told by Hyperion Smokestag, who submitted the level that was right before this one, I remind them of one of the broadcasters of Marble Races. I don't think we actually sound that similar, but he's a very good commentator. The Marble Race commentator he was telling me about. Okay, so here we are at the reusable checkpoint. We'll do the bottom zone first. You need that coin. And whoops, no, sorry, that was a mistake. We've got to respawn this whole area. I wanted to get the blaster on top of the... can we actually reset this whole area? Or am I just dead? I think the spike here tells me I'm dead, okay. Which is too bad, because that was a very avoidable mistake. We knew exactly how to accomplish this, and we just missed. Okay, let's bump this. And move it over. That will give us the snowball, which we will send over this platform. And it will give us the way up. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that you were completely out of doors or pipes to make any kind of reset mechanism gracefully down there. Hence the reset by the SD. So let's hit the Drybone segment first. This one fairly straightforward. Just need to... Yep. Need a Drybone on a P. It'd be a shame if you missed that. But falls rather accurately when you just... do it just a whoops. No. Now that's the problem. Okay, so let's just squish the P and just let the Drybones ride another one. Nope. Okay, nope. There we go. I see here there is also a mechanism to just kind of take to death, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do this as gracefully as we are able, and we will grab that key. And it is on to the next challenge. Okay, so, yeah, we know how to do this. We need to get this P up above and under a POW. We do it by putting it over the POW and then hitting the POW. Going to drop another one. We are going to send the Muncher across. Whoops. Like I said, absolutely terrible at a shield bump. Let's reactivate that before it falls. There we go. We'll want to reactivate the P, so we have enough room on a timer to send this guy over. And there we go. There's a little passageway to get the subworlds to fall in the right place, and then we will look at part 3 in the bottom left. And yeah, here's the ice interaction with the Piranha Plants, so we just need to move this guy over such that the high diagonal hits the ice block. One spot over, okay. Come on. Good, nice and high. There we go, move it 2 spaces over once we grab another sword. And we'll fire at the other one. Nope, too far over. Okay, no. Yeah, I should have actually tapped it and gone under. Because we know that we can actually slide under the P-switch when we raise it. Tap the blade. So, let's do this a little more accurately this time. And it's gonna melt. Okay, great. Okay, this will hopefully be a hit. Yep, there we go. That will tap the on-off switch, which will allow us to send the plant on its way. Let's give it one nice high firing cycle. Okay, and then let's see if it will give us enough room. It will not. Okay, back up here. Nope. Grab another sword. Yeah, the positioning takes a little bit of calculation, but we'll get it. And there we go. So, sword and dry bone shell. We'll bump the P across. Yeah, we do know that we need to survive past the Goomrat once we bounce on it later, because that's where we hit the soft lock from the link check at the end, last time that we were here. Okay, let's bump this across carefully. Slide our way in. There we go. I actually do like how that P-switch interaction actually kind of guarantees that the Goomrat is displaced a little bit to the right side. We will need to use that, of course, in order to land accurately. There we go. Aha, look at this. Okay. So that was the fix. Yeah. Okay, I suppose that fix is one that works. That is acceptable. Let's take the top passage. It's going to be something P-oriented, and it will spit us out to the pink coin that is in the other subworld, because I imagine that you hit your pink coin limit here already. So, you have a P-switch down here. You have this passageway that implies that we want to send something across, probably the P-switch itself. Okay. Well, why don't we just hit this, and it comes up like that. Okay, so we need some way to raise the switch, right? What about if we use a bomb? Does the... No, it just sits on top. Okay. And I think it would activate it anyway, right? So, well, why don't I scout ahead and see what this interaction is? Okay. We know we'll probably need a POW to unblock the Muncher. We have the POW over there on that side, and... So yeah, we need to send an object, probably to P-switch across, but no, let's send a bomb. Bomb. Will it work? Will it work? No. So we send a bomb higher. No, no, it's clearly supposed to be the P-switch, I think. Then, how do we actually move it? Let's see. Oh, either that, or we can move the Master Sword itself. Because the Master Sword as an object should fall, like a power-up should, over on the other side, right? Okay, yeah. Except we have it fall down there like that, but we can tap the Master Sword. Now, why does the P-switch matter, then? That seems like that's something that's unsolved. Unless... let's tap this. Tap this. Okay. Arrow from the left side. Yeah. Okay. But then why do we actually need that? I'm not seeing why that matters. Because if you hit the P-switch, all it does is block this, right? And if it blocks that, what does that actually do? Because you can hit the P-switch from over here, theoretically. Like that. Oh, I see. Okay. And then you cart the whole thing across. Yeah, I see. I totally did not see the P blocks on the ground. Let's get out of the ground. Okay, no, we got it. Very sharp eyes over there. Our eyes were not so sharp. Okay, we got it. Okay, we'll tap this whole thing. And the rest will... kind of... oh, you had a lag spike, okay. Yeah, no, we're still on. We're still on. And yeah, you are still in the queue, Thomas. Okay. Unlike the issues we had earlier, I actually did not see the performance issue there on our end, but we'll remain vigilant for that since we have been having some intermittent network issues over here all day, so. Okay, we see a P-switch dangling there. Let's explore up here first. We don't know what's up there. Whoops. I feel like obtaining this trampoline and then bumping it over probably what we need to do, like allowing it to drop from the claw. Will it drop from the claw? Like if we stand over here, maybe? No, we need to be below it. Okay. But it seems like, yeah, we need to create a stack over here. And why don't we move this now? Okay, no, I know what we need to do. We ultimately want to have the cannon positioned over here. If we position the cannon over here, that allows us to jump on a cannonball and get up to the higher slot. So we need to move this whole construction, not like that. We need to move the whole thing up and on top of the P-switch. Okay, there we go. That actually does work. That's bad. Okay, nope, we survived. And now we bump it forward. Whoops. Now I'm trapped. Uh-oh. I am trapped between the one-way panel and cannon. So I think I'm actually locked once again. How are we doing for time? That's okay, we've got like 60 seconds on the clock. We, or actually, no, fewer than that. Like only a few seconds on the clock, so that was not as threatening as I took it for. But yeah, that's why we are the advanced guard. We find all kinds of ways to playtest this thing in very unexpected ways. We're going to go for that clear anyway, though. That's a very edge case issue, you know, just to be trapped there. I would have thought that I would have been able to jump up, given that there's nothing above me. So I was kind of surprised that I wasn't able to just jump through the cloud and the mushroom platform here. That's okay. We'll take it. Oh, we want to send a P-switch to the left side so we can actually lift the whole thing and make it bumpable. Right? And that's why you need the one-way panel there. Is it gives you this construction. And yeah. There we go. There we go. Very nice. Boom. Why am I so good at finding soft blocks? Because I actually try things out, I guess. Or rather, I think it's more that, you know, often when players suspect a soft block, they don't go out of their way to trigger it, like they'll try to avoid it. I tend to just go ahead and test them. Because, you know, it's one of those things where you need to know. Oh. Where did that POW come from? I thought POW fired when it was on its way down. Okay, so we may need to reset this one. Right. I think we need to reset this one because of the POW. But, yeah, because we need to stack everything on top of P. But let's redo it. Okay, we got the P here. No. We need the POW block first. That's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. We need the P here on this slot where the POW block drops. Wait. How come... Okay, no. That's wrong. That's wrong. We actually need to move one of these guys, I think. Yeah. No, that's true. We got it. Let's just redo this. Let's take advantage of the sword and trampoline interaction. And we'll drop this guy. Top of the P. We'll drop all of this under the blaster. Oh, no. Now the stack is too high, right? So, because we... Why do we need all that to begin with? Like, we need to come up here. Oh, okay, no. We don't actually know what fires out of the second blaster yet. But then that means that there's no problem with just moving everything out of the way, right? Okay, we need 2 POW blocks. I assume both blasters fire POW blocks. Right. This is a spot that allows us to fire or bomb something. Yeah, that's not going to reach, of course, but thought I'd try that anyway. Yep. Right, because we want 2 separate POW blocks to be active. You know what? We can head bump the POW block. Let's watch this. I know this is probably not the intended solution, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, because you eventually want to get it to a point where it's on screen. Okay, so that's not going to be the answer. We want to bump the P-switch such that the P-switch is under the POW block. This is probably not it. We want both POWs, so hang on. Okay. But we can use the same kind of vine climb interaction if we just bump everything over. Hang on. This is probably an alternate strat, but we're gonna do it anyway. We'll do it our way. Okay, no, because Divine Climb actually does bump it, so you can't do it that way. Yeah. You want to ultimately bump the whole stack upwards, so yeah. Okay. Because you can bump that. Right. Because that will fire POW block once we get rid of this. And that will get rid of the top puncher. No, it won't. It's out of range. That's fine, because we are going to fire the POW block onto the other side, and then use the arrow. Right? We're running out of time. Yeah, because we're going to head to the right. No, too high. Hey, Julian, welcome. Alright, let's rethink this. Master Sword up here. Oh, we could just fire it on the other side, but apparently not. Well, we know that we eventually want some kind of P-stack up here. But we need to carve our way across the whole Muncher Passage to the right side first. Oh, I see. No, I see how this works. Eventually, after we remove both of the Munchers, we need to drop a one-tile object, like a POW block or a trampoline, onto the right side in order to enter the pipe. So this is going to be kind of a multi-stage interaction. I haven't actually seen what comes out of this blaster. I assumed it was a second POW. No, it's not. It's a spike ball. That changes quite a few things, in fact, because the spike ball would just kind of drop everything out over there. So, alright. So we actually wanted to raise the spike ball up here. Let's check what's on the other end. Yeah. Okay, no, we want the spike ball to be on the upper position, because when we stand over here, we'll be able to drop the spike ball across the bumper, right? And then it'll just kind of carve a path through the clouds and down through the hard blocks, if I understand it correctly. We have 18 seconds, so we will be redoing this room anyway. But I still haven't thought of a strategy for getting both of those stacks across safely, because this is, you can see, only 5 tiles of height. So. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah. Cannon. Alright, move E. Move the trampoline. And yeah. So first cannon is going to be POW. We haven't determined yet how to get that across. No, that's wrong. Hang on. Oh, however, if we hit the P-switch by ourselves at an appropriate time, then we drop this at a location of our choosing. Once we drop this, we have the opportunity to respawn a second P that will allow us to move the second cannon up to the upper levels. So, yeah, let's do it that way. So, first P is going to go too far. First P is going to go down here. And it's going to move blaster number 1, but we are also going to hit the P afterwards in order to drop everything at an appropriate location. So it's a little bit off-center. Deal with that. Here's a bit of an issue. We want, I think, the spike ball to hit POW block remotely. No, actually, you know, we have this on screen. Let's just do it this way. Well, okay, that solved that problem quickly. Now we need an object to drop from the top, and that's where the spike ball comes in. However, we will, in the end, want to drop another object down there. Probably a P-block or trampoline. Or maybe we just stand on a bomb or something. Like, I can't, right? No. On the other hand, that's one tile gap, so... No, I don't think that works. Okay, so we'll, Oh, we did that prematurely. I should have... actually... moved that out of the way first. Now the second blaster is just in our way. Okay, that's too bad. Or we could have just strategically moved this so we can just stack them both, like, with a good placement. Not actually sure. But we know anyway that we have a way to have the POWs far enough to hit both punchers. We just stand here, fire an arrow, get them both. So the part of the puzzle we need to sort out is how to get the spike ball across. Okay. Why don't we? I'm considering resetting through a door since we dropped this in a rather poor location. But, gotta see... Yeah, ultimately we do want the spike ball up here. Okay, let's reset this. Try this in a different order. I mean, this is the last puzzle, it does make sense for it too. A little on the trickier side. Okay, let's do a stack. I feel like I need to redo the stack. Hang on. Alright. Here we go. So that's going to give us the POW block. And then after that we'll get the spike ball. We can always move this whole stack back. Let's get rid of the POW. Okay, get rid of both munchers. And let's figure out how we'll do this drop, because we want that guy to be on... Oh, you know what? I know how to do it. We can despawn the blaster by using the on-off switch. We move all of this back into position. We spawn block this thing out of there. There we go. That's how we change it over. Now we use Divine to get the spike ball stack up to the top level. We got it. We have this. Raise it. And then we want to be on the right side. Not like that. We need to move it over. Yeah. Okay, hang on. There we go. Now what? So now we need to move an object over to the donut block that will be pushed by the thwomp. And pushed by the thwomp in such a way that it will fall into the slot on the bottom right. I would have thought that maybe that would be a POW, but we've already gotten rid of any POWs. Okay. It could be something to do with the Master Sword that is up top, but I don't think it's really that either, because that's not going to trigger the donut block. Can we ourselves get our way in somehow? What's on the top left? Nothing. Okay. Oh wow, we're out of time already. Okay. Well, at least we do have the solution up to this point. Not going to be that. So we need something that will trigger a donut block. Or some way to push ourselves through. I doubt that will be it. Yeah, actually, no, that's very true. That thwomps that sit on top of the donut block will activate them. I'd actually forgotten that about the side thwomps. So we just needed to hit this on-off switch, and we can get within the thwomp range just by jumping. Right? Oh, I see. No, we just ride the donut block. Ride the donut block, and that'll take us down. Okay, let's just get on top of that properly. There we go. And that is the last coin with 30 seconds remaining. Okay, let's grab a safety coin. And that is something we're going to do. I'm going to watch the timer while I do this. Otherwise, this could be very embarrassing very quickly. There we go. Worth it. Okay. First clear. Thank you for the GGs. Yeah, I'm not expecting you to fix that one spot with the one-way panel. I mean, that is maybe somewhat avoidable for people who are paying attention. I was surprised that I wasn't able to jump out of that one spot there. But yeah, really great puzzle progression. Particularly with the way that the first zone before the checkpoints just kind of illustrate all of the mechanics you need in order to pass the whole thing. Considering how much time we spent on it too, I mean, I guess a lot of that was spent as puzzle time, and so you see very few deaths and a very high clear rate. So, thank you for the patience of all those who have stuck around to be played. Let's see who's next. So, program, I mean, we were going for the first clear just to get that record. I don't mind doing this again if I'm running your super world in full. How big is your super world? Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that might be something. 6 levels. That might be something we do over the weekend, actually. We might just run the whole thing. Spolo, are you still here? I believe Twitch tells me that you are. Might wish to confirm. But we will punch you in. Yeah, hopefully the stream performance is acceptable. For those of you joining me late, we had enough issues earlier that I had to turn everything down to 30 FPS in case I managed to solve anything. So hopefully the image is not too jittery by Mario standards. Not as smooth as we normally like to run it, but, you know, we'll adapt to what Twitch is letting us do today as we head into Honeycomb Hills, where Bowser has released sting bees in the wild, stop the sting bees from spreading. But yeah, we've had a pretty good run of Brogan's puzzle platforming levels in the last few streams. We've played several of them, and they've been a great experience. So, Spolo, let's look at yours. About 10 percentage, and record of around a minute. Oh, level of the week. Would that be on the one on Reddit? I rarely find a time to actually check Mario Maker Reddit these days, and I probably should more often to find makers, but we're bad at that. Okay, so could have kept our eyes on the level. We were a little too busy reading chat at the same time, thinking this would be a nice little 10% cakewalk. Okay, there we go. Actually paying attention to propeller. Notice the use of the donut blocks as a kind of honeycomb decoration to make this look somewhat like a beehive world. I've seen a couple of different efforts to make beehive levels in Super Mario Maker. Some of them as more of an explicit tribute to Galaxy. Some of them just because bees are a very inherently appealing concept. I see bees down here. Oh, no, okay. Looks like something optional, but... Red pipe, that looks like a bonus zone. We will absolutely take that. Okay. Yep, 30 coin. It's just a nice little bonus area. Oh, you've seen this on Tanuki Den, okay. I'm sure Tanuki Dan had a very entertaining song to sing about it afterwards, as he sometimes does. And, okay. Let's drop over here very carefully. Yeah. Yeah, very generous about its propeller respawns so far. So the room for the kind of mistakes I've been making has been rather nice. Rather forgiving. Just gotta be careful with spots like that. And spots like that. We are dead. Oh. But we theoretically acquired enough coins to grab a 1-up there, so don't feel too bad about that. Okay, 10 coin. Did we grab that before? Yes, we did. Okay. We've shown the little proof of concept there, and we can just proceed about the level. Managing the height a little better this time by actually paying attention to the coin trail. And that one on the top left looks like a Tetris T-block. But is this one here? I guess we can do our little T-spins and make it over to this area. Yeah, there you go, there's the flag. Tucked behind the beehive. So yeah, thank you for that submission from Spolo. YMN, thank you for checking in. I believe once the bot actually responds, it will tell me your code, which is going to be L69XM8. AYG, I will try my best not to be rude. Your downhill cave speedrun, 40 seconds, which is also very new from today and currently has 0 clears. So as usual, thank you for offering me an opportunity at the first clear as we are ready for the best speedrun ever. Run, jump, and slide through the cave. Through the cave. Through the through the cave. Through the cave. Downhill cave speedrun. Okay, let's go. Yeah, and thank you for the GGs on one just now. So, okay. Arrow says right. Like we want a bit of a turnaround, and we'll slide down the ramp as prescribed. Yeah, I guess that ramp didn't end up being relevant for interests yet. Whoops, we totally missed. Okay, fine. Probably could have continued to see what was further down, but that was a bit of a sloppy run from us anyway in terms of time, so we will head back and... Oops, yeah, lost a bit of time around that corner already. Yeah, the obstacles look pretty relaxed so far, but I don't know how tightly the timer is tuned, so... Okay. Oh, okay. No, I was just curious. I know I was supposed to go through the pipe with 1 second remaining, and like that should have been a very obvious clue, but I just sort of thought, okay, there's somewhere we can drop. We've been dropping this whole sub-world. Let's head in there and check it out. I lost a bit of time there already, okay. So yeah, we had 1 second on the clock when we made that rather spectacular decision at the end. And yeah, let's head onwards. Miss. Whoops. Start over. Yeah, there are a lot of cheesable locations, I think, Alex, where you can just avoid maybe 1 cycle of the on-off switch activation. But I'm just going to do the intended path for now. Actually, no, I don't know. I have not really kept my eye out for cheese locations yet, but I think like doing a fast drop off of here down to everything below and spawning the bullet bills would probably be part of it. Like you could just drop in down there, and if the bills spawn quickly enough, then you can just hop over to the right side directly. You would need to know the level from memory to do that, but like if you see a very suspicious, 20-second speed record on this, that's probably what's happening, is somebody just dropping directly down. It's coming down here, because this is a vertical subworld, as I suspect it is. Well, as it must be. Then the bonsai bills will kind of spawn by your vertical proximity, like when they are within, I think, 4 tiles of the lower boundary scrolling down. And so I think you can actually just kind of jump around and get enough height by dropping directly onto the bonsai bills and continuing from there. So for example, if I did this, and if I actually dropped accurately, actually no, I don't know if that would give me enough horizontal momentum off the first bill. But anyway, let's try it again as intended. But yeah, I mean, it depends on how strict you want to be about preventing alternative strategies, as we sometimes say. Whoops. But yeah, that's what playtesting is for. That's how we expose these things if you want to make your own determination about what is worth fixing. Nope. Yep. I didn't even intend to do it that time. We just made it happen. Whoops. And of course I missed the second bounce there. Hyperion, thank you for the resubmission of your maker code. We'll be going for some time yet, so I certainly won't be closing too soon. Yeah, that's actually not too big a time savings, the way I skipped it earlier. Saved about 5 seconds, maybe. Yeah, this bumper interaction here is actually kind of cute. Whoops. Except I missed the repress and jump button again. A couple of short ones that you'll ask me not to play. Okay, yeah. We'll deal with that when we get to you. Oh, we did that again. Not quite enough horizontal momentum that time. That was not really intentional anyway, but definitely there's a very strong temptation when I see the turnaround set up like that to instinctively go for returning to the platform rather than following the trampoline pattern. I don't think I'll be the only player who does that. Simply because, you know, sometimes when you do speedy levels like this, yeah, you see how the camera kind of takes you just a sec to scroll down to where the trampoline setup continues, right? So the first thing you read is that the blue platforms are continuing. And you, whoops, are able to visualize that before you're able to visualize the continuation of the back and forth trampoline setup on the bottom left at that point. And so, you know, that very minor difference in where the camera is going to be positioned is going to lead a lot of players to try the platform side first, I think. And that's just one of those small adjustments to, you know, player psychology that you need to make, particularly in a speed level. Like in a speed level, players will go for the very first thing they see. Because you've already trained them to read the level at that speed. You know what I'm saying? So. Okay. Let's... How am I missing that every time now? That's very embarrassing. Oh, world map mini-bosses, like hammer fights and so on. Yeah, I see what you mean. I'm missing that every time. I don't think it's input lag or anything, it's just me missing the button. Yeah. Otherwise, the platforming feels kind of nice. I mean, you know, there are those cheesy locations and my continued failure to actually repress the jump button going into those trampolines, but, yeah, the platforming itself, like when executed as intended, feels pretty good. Particularly with these slide segments here. Like, it's a pretty generous amount of room. Certainly when you see levels like this, you often train yourself to think that that falling platform will be relevant eventually past a certain point, but it appears that is not the case. So let's do it accurately this time. There we go. And we'll get through here with 4 seconds remaining, actually. Quite a generous amount of time as we finish with 2. Okay. Yeah, weren't exactly going for the top of the goal by any means, but yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for offering me first clear. I know there are probably some fixes you'll want to make, but I think we've discussed that at length. So, you know, that's just something you have to play around. And as I said before, just think about the camera and some of the signaling and how you restrict an intended path if you want to make it restricted. I know a lot of people who would make these levels would fill them with a lot more coin trails. I don't think that's necessary per se, except for the parts where you want to be very clear about where the camera will be scrolling next. But thank you for that, YMN, or Yaman007. We'll mark that as a win as we move on to the next submission. Thank you for the GGs. Zimon rolling down Z Hill. You are still here. So we'll punch in AXN. XH. 8 7 BG. Okay, hello, enjoy the trolls in Trolly Waters by Zimon Troll. Troll rolling down the hill, trolling down the hill. Yeah, definitely trolling down the hill. Seems like this level is actually quite well liked, with more likes than clears, in fact, so... yeah. I do, of course, accept troll levels on this channel. I will tell you that if we are taking particularly long on it, I may ask you to resubmit so I can get through some other people before I finish, but that depends on how long it takes us to miss the appropriate timings on traps like these that were very, very obvious. So basically we skip the distraction of the mushroom to start and just make sure we get through right away. Does the fire flower matter? Maybe so. Okay, let's redo this. But yeah, we'll stay on it for as long as we're making progress for a while, and we'll see how we're doing. Okay, so let's see how we can progress. So something is triggering this bullet bill. It might be something positional, so let's restart. We know we need to get through. We haven't dropped the bill yet. I see. So it is something that is dependent on the spawning of the flower, right? So basically we just need to... no, it's positional. Okay. Oh, there's a seesaw with a P on the left side. And there was a little clue there with a muncher and a brick and a P, so I think we just wait for the P switch. See what happens. Okay, let's hug the left side. Let's not go too far because it seems like it is based on our horizontal positioning. We just need to come over here. Yeah, drop that. That drops a muncher that weighs down to P. We hit the P switch, and what does that do for us here? It breaks the scroll. And what use is that? Let's go back. I see some arrows, and I see an on-off. Op. Okay. Let's do this sequence once again. Okay, so we now see that that's going to trigger something that breaks scroll up there. I don't think that affects anything. Oh, maybe it affects something if you activate the P-switch going through the door. Yes, it does. It gets rid of the muncher, which... no, we're too slow. Okay. We get through that door while the P-switch is still active, and then... that allows us to just pass by that zone. So let's bounce on this, work back, hit the P-switch, dash over the door. This looks awfully suspicious, and that's going to block the door. Okay, yeah. Okay, progressing. Okay. Lower the muncher. Whoops. Beaky 360. I will certainly try the hard jumps in your levels. If it looks like we're just kind of stuck on the opening screen over and over for about 20 minutes, then I'll probably, you know, not continue it for very long. But with hard levels, I try to at least make a little bit of progress. Cannot guarantee that I'll beat it, but you are welcome to send it. Okay, Muncher drops on a bomb over there. Okay, so that was giving us some kind of clue. Oh, no. This just connects to the left side. We actually did want to trigger a bomb. Then hang on. Let's see if that does anything for us here. Well, we know how this whole segment is connected now, so it looks like we might actually want to trigger the bomb in the first segment before we go through the door. Because that allows us to duck underneath and proceed to the checkpoint. So we do need to start from the beginning. And hold right. Then... Okay, so that's going to show us this interaction here. You get within proximity of that swamp, and then... Right, because we want to get within swamp range, and that's telling us to do something to hold right to get within swamp range, right? In order to get through this one tile gap here. Yeah, and that tells us how the checkpoint setup is going to work, like how we get up to checkpoint 1. Okay, and then that gives us like this little thing here. We just need to die here by hitting that spike, but let's see about doing that. Yeah, so thank you for 1-3. Mario does not pay his taxes. That may or may not be a level involving Yoshi, but... Whoops. Puncher punches right through there. We actually did want to activate that. And then drop through the door. Okay, great. Raise the P. And through we go. Okay, so this door is going to take us through to the other end, but yeah, we know how this is going to work. In fact, we were told just now that we want to get into that slot that is on the right side. We want to go around the muncher, get into that slot on the right side. Okay, we got it. I understand. Yeah, because we've seen the clues in that room already. Okay. Hold right. Let's drop onto this side here. Actually, no, we want to trigger that first. Wait, hang on. I see. Okay, let's trigger this. Get down here. And make our way back over. Not fall towards the door. No, we need to jump in order to dodge the bomb explosion there. But then we also don't want to fall in. Like, we want to be able to get into that one tile slot safely. So that's something we need to watch out for. Yeah, because, actually no, the issue now is that we're going to fall through the one-way panel. let's not activate that on the first cycle. We want to activate the bomb only once we are through the first time. And then that way we jump, we dodge the explosion, and then we get into the one tile gap. Oops. And now another idea for your Maker Notebook. Well, don't know what exactly it is, what you had in mind. But, yeah. Surprisingly, I have actually not seen very many troll levels lately, like since the patch came out. I guess people are working on new trolls with the new content, but it's been a while since I've been sent one of these. Okay. That works. Now that we're not trapped under a one-way panel, we try to jump in here to activate the Thwomp. Okay, Thwomp activates. That should actually... Whoops. We messed that up. And that allows us to go through a door, and since the Thwomp has been activated on the other side, that clears the road to checkpoint 1. Okay, a puzzle where you interact with a room from different sides, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I think we were discussing that the other day when you were also here to watch the Ghost House scroll stop level that we did over the weekend. Okay, so let's get over here, dodge the bomb, drop in. Activate the Thwomp. Yeah, I think that was activated. No, we made the same mistake. Keep expecting to fall safely, but we want to go for the door. Okay. Let's do this a little more accurately. Dodge the bomb. And get in this little slot here. About the left side. Nope. That was a mistake. I knew that was coming too. And actually, no, that's not an issue, because you can just sneak under the Muncher and still manage to make your way in the door, I think. That was actually salvageable. Okay. Let's make our way through. And drop this, drop that. Drop the Thwomp. Make our way back up. Through the door, let's see what the Thwomp has done for us today. That's a little different because the Thwomp has, it seems, actually been stopped. Like, it did not activate the bomb. Oh, the P-switch has to be active. Yes, okay. We were too slow. P-switch has to be active in order for the Thwomp to do the scroll break appropriately. Let's start that over. You actually need to be very fast then, which is why we had the advisory in the hint room earlier to hold right. Because the P-switch needs to be running. We gotta go, go, go. Whoops. A beautiful hardbound notebook. Okay. Running off the cannon gets in the gap easier. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what the hold right advice was earlier. We're not really paying much attention to that advice. Oh, come on. There we go, there we go. Oh, I see, running off the cannon like this. Yeah, I see. Like that, yeah. Okay, we are through. We're gonna hit checkpoint 1. And see a whole bunch of spikes down there. And an icicle. Something tells me that there's going to be some kind of P activation that happens. Oh, a bomb. Okay, let's... I see. So we want to activate the icicle from below. And let the bomb do its work, yeah. Okay, easy to reset and see that. The appropriate interaction. Icicle up there, I see, so that's just probably time sensitive. Like as soon as you get within range of that second icicle. Yeah, you know what, you can see that very clear just from that our screen position earlier. You can see exactly what's going to happen, and whoops, there we go, blew it. That's okay, let's check this anyway, because the bomb might do some work on the right side here. And indeed it does. Okay, you see a down arrow there. You see a bunch of death over here. Of course I'm checking this. Whoops, we should have stayed on the left side though. Red pipe up there. We don't know what is actually through the store, but I don't think it will necessarily matter. We'll check it anyway, we want to know, at least once. Yeah, that's just death, but it looks like at some point we'll want the spike wall to roll over and knock out some of that stuff, so... Yeah, plenty of DP hype over here. Okay, let's let this drop. Let's let this fire the bomb on the right side. Continue. Okay. Yeah, because I want to see it. I see, okay, so we should have taken the advice of that arrow. Interestingly, though, we know where there is another red pipe. Like, assuming that that's paired with the red pipe that we saw earlier, we would spawn out of that. There would be the spike ball that drops and carves the path. And, yeah, just kind of mapping out where things will go on the assumption that the red pipes are, in fact, connected. And no, they wouldn't be, because this door is placed in the same subworld, so... Yeah, the red pipe in this subworld is the same as that one up there. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Pipes would not be matched after all. Alright, let's drop this. Fire the bomb. Drop this. Let's fall. Okay, so we see an invisible block that is over the arrow. That is the clue that we were given. So let's look for the arrow. It's going to be over a down arrow. Let's take a look. Okay, so... It looks like a little bit of a difficult reach, unless there's something that... I think I probably just missed that. We will give that another try. I can't think of any other down arrows that would be referring to. Oh wow, thank you Hyperion Smokestack for the sub. We will... Well, first of all, that is what the kaboom sound is now. You all know. Yeah, thank you very much for that, Hyperion. I will actually have to come up with some sub privileges. Like, we have a very small number of subs so far because this is still a relatively new channel. As we grow bigger, we will probably have some benefits like a sub queue, but right now we're little bit on the small side for that, but you know, we'll figure some things out. We'll have some more sub-privilege or sub-exclusive content, especially on the bonus streams on the weekends when we are not only doing newer levels. But aside from all that, like, thank you very much for the support. We haven't actually explored this area yet, but we still haven't really poked around. Like, feels like there is supposed to be something there, but it seems like that is just referring to something totally different. Like, I'm misreading the clue from that track square that is over the down arrow. But yeah, you can see that you are one of the first from that founder badge. And yeah, you're a very small club so far, but a very elite one of regulars that I'm very grateful for. You know, when I first started this, just to do some casual Mario Maker playtesting for people, I just didn't expect that, you know, it would provide that much entertainment or value, but apparently it does, and so glad you find that worthwhile. Now, maybe we should just be holding right and hugging the wall. If we hug the wall on the way down, maybe we fall on something accurately, but I didn't see something like a bone shell on the bottom. This doesn't seem like it's ever going to allow us to get off the claw safely, but yeah, something is going on with that track clue. No, it's not that. I tried that several times and I don't think it's a hitbox issue. It is something else that is going on. Yeah, I've been trying that corner several times where it is marked, and I thought at first it was possible that I was just missing it from hitting it too low. But at the same time, I'm not clear on what that corner would do for me in terms of giving me some kind of safety. So, from up here, we can see where that spike trap on the left goes. It shows you the clouds. That might be a reference to the clouds that are through in this door, but it's a little hard to tell. That above just gives you the block that has bombs in it. Maybe there's a different down arrow that was placed earlier in the level that we missed or forgot about. Not really clear on that. Could be that we also need the bombs to do something else for us. It's marked above the arrow, not the corner. Okay. Yeah, it was marked like one space kind of on the right side of the arrow, right? Oh, you see that? That's shattered. Oh, okay. So it's a spawn position thing. Like, if you hug this closely enough, then presumably a spike ball rolls in from the right side of the screen because it is now close enough to spawn. That unlocks this. We will check the pipe first. Not really expecting much out of that. Okay, that looks like it's a... It's meant to look like the starting location, but it obviously isn't. So we'll go through that and we'll see what's different about that screen, so, yep. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's not a block, it is a positional guide. It tells you that if you scroll far enough to the right, by jumping to the right, scroll the camera and then you wait. Once you wait, then what happens is a spike ball will spawn on the top side. And that's where it goes. So let's see where it's spawning. Yeah, nothing over here because that's where the spike ball comes off the track. So let's do this part here. This is meant to look like the beginning of the level. So we have an extra block here now. Same kind of proximity check as before. Guess we'll just do it. No mush. Okay, so there is something that is a mushroom power-up check. Do not grab the mushroom yet. Got it. This level, for a troll level, has been remarkably fair about providing clues so far, so we've been... I haven't had to guess very many of things, like the interaction over here to the right was the only thing that stumped us momentarily, but I think we sorted that out just by waiting and paying attention. So let's spawn the... Oh, we missed it. We missed it. So we need to scroll the camera far enough to the right that we spawn the spike block, the spike ball, rather, and then they're pretty much solid from there. Okay, so let's drop the bomb. And we are through. Okay, let's just scroll the camera, Yep, that's far enough. Don't need to be too risky with that. Get in here, no mush. No mush at all. No mush. Okay. Seems like it's another repeated... No, okay. We haven't actually checked the block on the right side in either case. But anyway, it's very insistent that we don't have a mushroom, but as yet I don't actually see what a conditional power-up switch has triggered yet. There is clearly going to be some kind of conditional power-up switch that requires us to stay small. But we need to wait and allow a mushroom to roll into a music block or something. But I have not seen where that is. So we don't want to hit that. Coming through here, we'll say no mush. And then what? Oh, don't want to be trapped by that. No mush, we head to right, and then some different interaction happens. Okay, so we'll activate the spike ball. Yep, that's gonna break. Down here, obey the instruction not to grab the mush. Okay, so what does that do for us? Left side, we see the bomb over there. Proceed carefully. That's going to give you one big no. But I kind of get the feeling that, yeah, we want the muncher to drop above that door. And then that will give us some kind of scroll-related interaction. Ah, okay. We actually want to break out of there. Great. That looks awfully suspicious. Go around it first just to check. It does look like the top of the screen, though. Alright, fine, we'll take it. Quite possibly we need to look for an arrow? Yeah, look for an arrow pointing northeast or up and to the right, and it's a block that will be located there. Or it is something that is relative to some of this other positioning, I don't know. Or it could be in that original room where we saw some of the claw drops. Let's drop back down and see what we can do. I think we can just... I mean, this door takes us to the... No. This looks awfully suspicious. Yeah, okay, no, we just need to hit the spike ball before the muncher drop happens. And bust our way through, yeah. I think that is all there is to it. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Nearly ran headfirst in that icicle. And yeah, same as before, we'll trigger that. Let the spike ball roll over. Shatter. Get in here. Navigate our way back over. Skip the mushroom. Skip this. Skip that. Head over to the right side. No mush. No rush either, apparently. Okay, let's not trigger the blaster. Very carefully blow this up. Carve a path to the right. And we needed to dash all the way over. We didn't build enough momentum to do that. Okay, let's run this again. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Don't know how far we are from the end. If it looks like we're still kind of at a point where we have, you know, a checkpoint 2 in a whole segment, beyond that, we may have to adjourn this and just kind of come back and recover our position later. But in any case, doing pretty well with this one so far, I think. Takes a while, but that's what pro levels do. Yeah, I will likely be closing the queue soon, like probably after this one, or at least end of some of the attempts fairly soon. Simply because this is kind of bumping back the rest of the queue quite a bit. So let's take this. Jump over. Check around here. Red pipe is going to be paired with probably the other red pipe we already saw. It's going to roll down, and there's the flag. I knew to avoid the clouds because we did see a visual clue about clouds earlier leading up to a spike. So thank you for the level and for the GG. Rolly Waters, very navigable. Rolly Waters. Marked that as a win. And yeah, we actually did enjoy that. That was very gentle and fair by the standards of a troll maze, and actually didn't take us too long to figure out any particular obstacle. And yeah, this was something that was post-patch. It was uploaded late April. Let's see who's next. I will be making a last call at this point. If anybody has some remaining submissions they want to tag in a queue, now would be the time to do it. I'm going to punch in Alex's code and see what level is in store, and then we will likely close submissions from there. Please continue to world. Okay, yeah, right, because we finished for a new World 1 time. Yeah, we'll definitely have to close then. Yeah, I'm just going to continue our position in Super Alex World, where we have 54 lives going into the airship. The airship looks like it's the only thing that's in this world. So as per our usual policy, we're doing one world at a time, and so I will probably just do this one level, depending on how long it takes. FXL, thank you for the submission. You will probably just be the last person today because we are closing up in just 1 second. I'm glad you managed to get that in. Okay, closing up. And so that is the current state of queue for those of you who are in. And yeah, we'll try to get everything wrapped up soon enough, but it's my usual policy to play everybody who is remaining online, and hopefully we will be able to do that. I don't think I've ever actually failed in doing that. I would not like to start today. One moment while I update my stream information to reflect the fact that we are, in fact, closed for submissions. I'll be with this level in just a moment. I'm going to update the warp bar as well. Yeah, it's definitely not a conventional structure by any means. It's going to give us a whole series of bonus rooms. The bonus rooms can in fact be accessed right now, but we'll just proceed. I think the bank of 54 lives should be okay, given what we have seen of Alex's creation so far. Okay, Divine Red Dino. So we're going to continue where our story left off. I think the last level we played before this one was the one with all the frozen munchers in winter. Okay, this is going to be a very flowery kind of piranha garden. And we are on the lookout for 4 pink coins. There's a second one. There's a third one down below. Yeah, we've got plenty of locations to refresh flowers. And we'll grab one from the garden. And lose it almost immediately. Pop that guy. And yeah, let's proceed carefully. Yoshi's over there. Yoshi warning us of the interaction between the vine and the key door, which has of course changed from Mario Maker 2. We'll get rid of this piranha. Whoops, that was sloppy. That's the key. I believe there is actually still one flower available down there, but we're not going to bother. We will just head right over to the next area. Checkpoint. And Yoshi is going to continue to be our guide. Yeah, I don't think I really had a good way to jump out of there safely. Then we have a Yoshi egg that is inside the clown car. Looks vaguely threatening. Yoshi is trapped everywhere. Ah, there's Yoshi. Yoshi, we'll grab him. Grab another flower. And enter. What may be another flower garden. Okay, so we see P-switch and on-off to the left. Given a placement, that's either decoration or some kind of spawn blocking. Okay, so... Yep, key door is over here. Seems like that's just another story element, and it tells us about that piranha. And the skulls and burners are going to tell us that we are on our way to some kind of dangerous encounter. In this case, we'll involve auto scroll and poison lava. Sorry, Yoshi, we did have to accept abandoning you there. Dropping you into the abyss. Yeah. And we'll just, whoops, lose our flower immediately to that guy there. Oh. Okay, that was inaccurate. Oh yeah, Dahlia22 fan, yeah, you were just a little bit too late. We do have a fairly lengthy queue to get through before I have to close up. Those submissions were in fact shut down just a little before you arrived. But that's okay, you've been here before, you know how to find me. That's a bad idea. And yeah, you're quite right that it's not really an airship, but a lot of it is made of wood, and I guess that might count for something. We should have taken some of this fire, to be honest. Whoops. Yeah, we did not need to abandon Yoshi in the first place. That's something we have now discovered. Okay, we're playing this quite badly. Let's try to clean this up. Obtain the power of fire. Whoops. Okay, I don't know why... Oh, okay, I'm just not building up enough dash there. I know it's definitely low enough to be survivable with Yoshi. We'll just get out of the way here. Whoops. Slightly a camera issue, and partly just me being very inattentive. Okay, get over there. Grab some fire, and... Okay, this is going a little better. That's going a lot better. Okay, let's not do it that way. Wait for the burners to expire. And I guess we'll have to run around this guy for a while they are still on camera. Okay, almost through. Now we need to obtain the key from the boss fight at the end of this scrolling segment. We do, of course, have reloadable flowers, and that's going to make things quite a bit easier. We did have reloadable flowers until the on-off was deactivated, so now we need to wait for the next on-off cycle, and we totally got trapped in that corner, so that's okay. I was busy reading the fight, and now we roughly understand how it works. And we have a generally better understanding of this segment anyway, so no harm done. Okay, a little harm done, but... Oh, come on. There we go, much better. Much, much better. I suppose we could just ride that, but... Yeah, sure, why not? And then we can spit some fire in Bowser's face if we get to that point soon enough. Yeah, there we go. Whoops. That's okay, we have the power of Yoshi. That will solve a number of issues. Makes it much easier, in fact. Amazing what a little bit of Yoshi assistance can do. Means we don't necessarily need to wait for the next flower cycle, although of course that would help for tripling the projectiles. Bowser fights, as usual, can be a little on the longish side, but we'll make do. this would be quite a bit more difficult without the benefit of Yoshi being on our side. But there we go. That's going to give us not a key, because the key would be behind this Piranha Plant here, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here before we get squished by scroll stop. Or by auto scroll, rather. Okay, so this is an idyllic little segment. It's going to hop into the sound car and rescue the Yoshi egg, because that seems like it's the story relevant thing to do. And rescuing Red Yoshi allows us to shoot fire at that bomb there. Which triggers the P-switch, which does what? Probably something to do with the ending segment. Or not? Oh, no. The P-switch just allows us to get through to the gate. Yeah, okay. I understand. So, the Divine Red Dino has been rescued. So, thank you for that, Alex. We will continue into World 3 next time you submit. World 3 is going to be a nice world, so... Next time... Same bat time, same bat channel. Well then... Let's get to prop fun. Or per prop fun. Not sure what you prefer. Not sure what you prefer. TJ4. B2W. XG. Yeah, thank you for dropping by as always, Alex. Okay, this is going to be about 5%ish. Plants and pipes, spinning and piping. World record of about 30 seconds. We will hopefully dispatch it efficiently. So. Okay. Not strict about the timer, thankfully. Oh, whoops. That was maybe a bit of a surprise. You can see from all the death markers there, but you know, Mario Maker pipe timings being what they are, that's what happens. Okay, let's do this cautiously. I could have gone over. Yeah. Oh, interesting, because, yeah, you have a system of the P-block markers, but there was not the P-block marker in the one shooting out of the yellow pipe earlier, and so that was kind of doubly a surprise that way, but... Okay, let's try to get into a position that allows us to scroll whoever was supposed to come out there, or not. Make it through this way instead. Looks like there was some kind of bonus segment that was time dependent then on the top left there. Whoops. The markers are trustable when you do it in one go. Yeah, okay. I can kind of see that. Yeah, I see there was a sort of time-sensitive element heading over to that left side there. As you can see, I'm not a fast, impulsive player. Yeah. And if I had been, that would have given me enough clearance to head all the way over to the right. I do see that, yeah, you do have alternate routes here. I see what's going on with the yellow pipe with the falling platform up at the top. The falling platform seems placed in such a way that, like, it would I think be a plausible entry point if you're fast enough, but it looks like more of an exit point. Okay, yeah, we'll just do it the fast way. Yeah, I do tend to take the time to, you know, read the screen rather than just going forward all the time, and so this means sometimes that I don't have the smooth and optimal timings on the first attempt. There we go. Oh, I see how that wraps around. Okay. Yeah, so this level kind of loops into itself that way. Oh, whoops. I should have known what that marker meant, seeing the placement of the pipe. I didn't really trust it as much as I should have, so... Get back up here. Oh, that's a little guy. Well, I mean, Hyperion, I don't know what other plays you've seen of the Clockwork Castle. I don't know if I necessarily considered that quickly, but I'm glad you did. Thank you for that, Propman. That was actually... Yeah, it was kind of neat. Like, there were lots of opportunities to do a recovery if I was playing slowly and doing it in 2 minutes rather than 30 seconds like the world record holder was doing, but I can definitely see why 30 seconds is quite possible. Given that I had some checkpoint respawns in there and also some segments where I was waiting for an additional cycle. But yeah, pretty accurately marked all around without being too visually busy, so... The third room, I don't see why that would be. Like, wasn't a third room just a power room, or the one where you fire the POW, or I don't know. I have to think back several levels in order to retrace my steps, so let's take a look at Thomas B, if you're still around. I think Thomas B had to leave, but they're fairly regular here, so no harm done if we have to remove them for now. Yeah, I think Thomas B has stepped out. Lupin Snoop, I do know you're here. I have seen you hanging around, so we'll just boot Thomas for now, and he can catch me on the next stream. He is back fairly frequently and has sent us some pretty good levels. We spent far too long this weekend finishing a remake of 3D World's Champions Road by Thomas. So we've had plenty of him on stream. So Lupin Snoop, you are indeed next, and we'll punch in GQ 37W World War G. Okay, subterranean switch squeaks. Switch squeaks adapted to life in caves by flipping switches. I can't really do the sound, unfortunately. That is not what we specialize in. And we see hashtag IB. So maybe for some kind of project, I assume that it's not like for an international baccalaureate examination. Item breakdown, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, item breakdown. Oh, for that's the Tobias Bergdorf series, right? Okay, unless I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, Bergdorf. Yeah, no, I've seen his item breakdown videos from time to time. I guess this would be something new to be featured for that. So, okay, so this is just going to be jump-based switches. Ah, yes. So we jump, and then the Koopa is going to fall, but every jump is going to give us a switch. So let's actually go for that power-up. We need to fall carefully. That's okay. I don't want to take the shell with us. But it's not going to do much given that setup over there. Okay, so let's just keep mentally steady as we maintain the on-off state that we want. Oh, I see. So this was what the shell would be for the 30 coin. Let's do it. Let's do it. We missed. Okay. Because of course we're going to do it. So we want to drop in. Now, does the Skip Squeak activate from the bounce? No, it doesn't. It only activates from a jump off the ground. It does not activate from the bounce. I'm going to take him out anyway. That might have been... Okay, that's just a coin. Yeah. Actually read this somewhat accurately. Oh, boomerang, okay. Cancel out of that. Here we go. Going to step carefully. And here we are. And yeah, this is the big Skip Squeak up there. Don't particularly want to deal with him. Oh, whoops, that was a mistake. Okay, we've done the 30 coin already. We can just bypass it this time. I will probably... I'll grab the boomerang now. We'll require a mushroom. Oh, whoops. Have to kind of keep track of where I am at any given time. Not a difficult concept, just one that requires that you're careful. Okay, so go for that boomerang. Yeah, let's get rid of that guy. Skip Squeaks, or rather the Sting Bees, don't go in for any of that spawn blocking nonsense, nor do many things in 3D World. It's going to happily fly around those on-off switches. Let's see about getting down here. That requires a Koopa Shell. Oh, we don't have the shell, okay. That's okay, we can stomp. And yeah, we see on-off platforms. That might be interesting in a bit. Yeah, we're just going to take this fairly patiently. And that's going to get us across. Checkpoint. On-off switch. Yeah, we'll do the on-off way. Yep. Okay, jumping off the on-off switch does not activate the Skip Squeak, which is interesting. Okay, so wall jump, however, should. Yeah, wall jump does, platform doesn't. I don't think I knew that for certain about the platforms, so that's useful. Useful information. Okay, that's going to give us a ding-dong. More boomerangs, okay. Useful to know if we need to respawn past a checkpoint. Drop that guy. Whoops, he's going to drop on our heads. We could go back for boomerang, but I think we'll be fine. There we go. This looks like a boomerangy location. I mean, there is a way, of course, just breaking this with a shell underneath and then going for the block, but I think that's very clearly a boomerang spot. Okay. Yeah, not speedrunning this by any means, but we are making do. Yeah, gotta account for the wall jump. Oops. That is, after the skip squeaks have decided to land again. Interesting that you have the large skip squeaks here that are not toggling the switches, but are a visual indicator of when they are activating. That's actually quite helpful, even if I do end up killing them repeatedly. We totally missed that. Whoops. Getting a little too desperate in our attempts to grab that boomerang. Now here it looks like you can just ground pound for that 30 coin. Like that. Well, I wanted to get out of that, cancel it, and then wall jump, and then I just totally missed. Yeah, sting bees do have some... Like, I feel like that's the behavior about sting bees in terms of the collisions that doesn't get exploited often enough. Like, you would think that people would get more use out of that. But who knows? Okay. Get out of here. Pop that. Progressive. Okay. Okay. Don't want that guy to be in our face. Okay. Nope. I saw that coming, and it happened anyway. Yeah, I think finding a good speed route through this level would be quite impressive to watch. I'm just kind of in the learning phase, so I'm taking it cautiously, but... I tend to be a bit of a cautious player in general anyway, so... Not generally very speedy. And that's why we tend to find that, you know, levels with mechanics that you have to figure out as you go tend to be a pretty decent fit here. Okay, just doing a jump will allow me to land on top of that safely. Let's skip over to sting bees and let's maybe slide over to the right. Hang on just a second. Oh. No, that did not go as I planned. I was trying to slide off gracefully. I should have slid off gracefully and bounced on the lower sting bee. And then did the wall jump off the spike blocks. Okay. Okay. Grab that. Drop. Skip squeak. Let's go for that boomerang again. I do think it's valuable. Whoops. And you know what? It's on wings. We can drop it like that. And yeah. Yeah, that's how you do the 50 coin, I think. You drop gracefully onto the lower sting bee, bounce off, wall jump off the spike blocks to the left. I don't know if I want to do the proof of concept. Yeah, we'll do the proof of concept. We'll just drop onto it. Like that. Like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we've got the boomerang. We were here last time, of course. And we failed miserably at a 30 coin. More 1-ups. Okay. That was implicitly safe, just from how that was going. So, oh, that's an interesting block placement. I mean, that has to be either hit from the side or stopped. So, we have a P block location up ahead. And no sign of a P-switch yet, so we will stay on the lookout for that. Looks like this is going to be a wall jump based segment. Oh, well, that was a bit of an adjustment jump, and that was definitely going to be disastrous. Okay, we've done a lot of the bonus content at least once, so we've proven that we can do it to my satisfaction. So we'll skip over some of the bonus coins this time, but I'll still go for things like the boomerang or the mushroom. That was a bad idea, given how bad I am at making my way through that. Okay, there we go. Okay. That will probably be a progressive power-up this time, giving us a mushroom. We know there's another boomerang spot not far from here, so... Whoops. And you know what? We could have just shelled it. Yeah. This happens to us. That's how we play. Okay. Mush. And we'll just stomp it. I said we'll just stomp it. There we go. Okay, making progress. This was a one-up spot. Back down. Apart from using a long jump, I don't think this is actually going to be that useful, so... Let's toggle that. And jump, probably do a bit of a slide and then wall jump back. Okay. Or... Hang on. Not really quite enough height there. What we can do is wall jump over to the other side. Oh, no, we want to wall jump using the property of the spike blocks here, hence the P block indicators, I see. Let's reset that. Nope, that's how we wanted to do it. That was not correct, though. Yeah, we want to fall into that. Yep. No, I see how. Here we go. Oh, whoops. Here we go. And we are through. Checkpoint. Okay. Looks like this is going to be a mechanism that not only activates the on-off, but also the P-switch, right? No, just the on-off. It looks pretty fancy, though. I guess it just exposes the mechanism you've been using for much of this time. Whoa. Right at the flag. Right at the GG. Yeah. We'll want to use a wall jump here. That won't give us enough of a cooldown. Okay, boomerang would have just gotten us directly to the flag. I see. No, we want to wall jump off this guy. Because, yeah, speed. There we go. Okay, we took our sweet time, but thank you for that, Loop and Snoop. Yeah, quite nice. Lots of flexibility there in terms of the power-up progression and the optional things that you can do to grab the 30 and 50 coins, as well as use the boomerang to kind of carve a path. Kind of nice to have some of the skip squeaks visible in the course of playing the level, just as enemies to kind of track your progress, even if they're not the ones hitting the switches on screen. Like, it keeps the mechanism on your mind. So, thank you very much for the sploosh. And we'll move on to the next. And yeah, we're closed up for today, but would be very happy to have you back for more. See who's next. Okay, Hyperion. Thank you once again for the sub and for taking around to see another selection. Now, you did say that you had certain things that you wanted me to avoid because they were just world map bosses. But that I could otherwise just pick something, so... Mole King's Discovery, is that one that I could pick? Oh, Infinity Engine or Smolder Coaster. Okay, Loop and Snoop, thank you once again for dropping by. Yeah, see you around as well. Yeah, pardon some of the noise that we're getting here. We have a bit of building construction going on outside. So, okay, that's Kamek's Infinity Engine, and then what was Smolder Coaster? That was an older one, right? Okay. Yeah, let's try... Oh, here's Smolder Coaster. Ride coaster while activating all of the actuators, and what was Infinity Engine? Let's do the Infinity Engine. About a 5-minute completion time with 2%. Kamek built a magic device that allows him to clone himself. Take it out. Okay. Yeah, you've had some pretty interesting boss setups so far, so this will be one to look at. Okay, we are going too fast for the auto scroll speed here. We do need to linger a little longer. That I'm sure you probably tested this with the medium speed as well to see how it would feel, and it does feel like it's on the slow side for slow auto scroll, simply because there's a little bit of waiting, but maybe given the layout that was appropriate. Like, it's... Yeah, it feels more relaxed now that I'm going side to side to grab things like the 30 coins. I find that for slower auto-scroll, that's kind of necessary to keep things interesting, to have some kind of optional content or challenge that motivates you to take your time and really use the full horizontal spread here. That was almost certainly wrong. Yeah. Yeah, like this 30 coin right here, case in point. Okay, we haven't quite seen the cloning engine yet, but we are definitely being fired at by a lot of bullets, so... Yeah, can I see with all this back and forth here that you would perhaps want a slower speed to accommodate that? I definitely think I'm pressing against what the auto-scroll speed is letting me do, though. Now we're kind of at medium speed. And... yeah, getting through that, there's a very obvious scroll stop break coming up over here with bombs. It's not proximity based, it's based on something else. Okay, so this is the cloning engine, where all the Koopas get smushed and you get all the dry bones on the bottom. Okay, so you're basically feeding these poor Koopas into the death engine that turns them into their skeletal form. And when I go back out of this room, if I can go back out of this room by activating bomb, Oh no, I see what happened there. I hit the off switch and it activated the track. Yeah. I see. Alright, let's grab a fire flower. Yeah, because while I'm still on the on state, it looks like this does not activate. So the on-off switch presumably would carve up this passage here with bomb, allow me to head back out, and once I head back out, it would have a scroll break on the right side. Let's hit the switch. Let's let the Podoboo run over this track. Then we have this little time survival exercise while it runs around and sets the bomb on fire. Right. Once it sets the bomb on fire, then we are slightly better shape. We have to kind of manage the crowd there, though. Okay, no, I see how it works. Hit the on-off switch, wait for bomb to break the left side, come back here, break the wall on the right. Yeah, no, I see what's going on with your little story segment here where the Koopas are being processed. Now, of course, I can't help but notice that I would have the opportunity to hit the on-off switch again and come back out here in the on state and not break the wall. But that would be silly. Why would I want to do that? Okay. Run across, get over, and yeah, here's another segment where we toggle the engine. I see, okay. So we're going to watch the little bone segment on the left. Not clear to me why I need to come out here instead of just sit on the panel. Oh no, I see, because I need to hit the on-off switch personally. Okay. And then we have a bit of a survival segment as we wait for all the bombs to light on fire. And actually the saw blade just gets out of our way, so it's not really even survival, it's just switching off this part of the engine. And then we continue. And yeah, look at that blade fall off that side. Oh, we messed this up. Here we go. Not that badly, though. Okay, here's another segment. I guess we need to run across the burners with good timing and hit the on-off switch. Not sure about those blocks on the left side in terms of what they're doing to us. I think they're just there to irritate you by carting you around for not to move, so we will make our way back through and go through the wall and up the steps. What's up here? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see how that works. The first room turns Koopas into dry bones, second room crushes the dry bones into blocks, and the third room uses the blocks to fuel the engine. Yeah. Well, better use of the dry bones than, you know, dodgy medicinal supplies or something. Okay, no, we have to not get crushed. We need to watch the block pattern. I see an on-off switch in the middle of that room. We have it not determined yet what that is for. Yeah, on-off switch in the middle of the room. Let's just whack that. Sit up here. Get rid of some of these bullets. And yeah, ultimately we want to grab a key that is probably from the Magic Koopa that's been tucked into that side over there. So how do we do it? Either that or it's time survival. I see bombs spawning on the left side and a peak switch. Okay, I see. No, I have to watch the on-off pattern because I use the on-off pattern to manipulate the belts. I manipulate the belts in order to get something down to the P-switch. The P-switch gives us the key. Yep, I see. Bullet Blaster. I hit the on-off switch repeatedly until the Bullet Blaster lands on the P-switch. The assistance of a push from the Muncher. Wario time. Yeah, sorry, we are closed up for today. We are just trying to finish up the remainder of the queue. We have quite a bit to get through today, so it's already kind of past our usual closing time. Okay, so don't I need the Muncher to push? Oh, okay. I actually need to wait quite a few cycles for the Muncher to push the Bullet Blaster into position, so I need to do quite a bit better than I've been doing with the survival timer. And oh no, it's just a little bit claustrophobic, that's all. Because the first time in here it's a little difficult to see coming. And but yeah, you know, balancing fights like this is something that you really have to learn from experience. And I find that usually when they're tuned too hard, that, you know, number of objects on screen is definitely the issue. You know, in NSMBU, it's actually very difficult to see the fact that the Cheep Cheeps are in fact on fire. And they are on fire because this is the castle theme. And that's just what they do. But it's surprisingly difficult to see. I do see that, like, there's a mushroom refresh on one of those blasters. Finally noticed that, but we have not really been able to take advantage of that. Okay, let's hit the on-off switch a few more times. Get to the bottom layer. Get a mushroom refresh? No, I guess not. Yeah. Yeah, I keep thinking I can jump on those innocent-looking Cheep Cheeps and have some fish and chips for dinner, but it appears not. Yeah, you see? Just instinctively going for that every single time. Okay, so now we do this as a survival fight while the Muncher slowly pushes the blaster towards the P-switch. P-switch will give us the key. The key will get us through the door, unless there is a middle phase that we don't know. Yeah, I see what's going on with these respawning Magic Koopas over there. Look at those Cheep Cheeps, just so tempting to step on them. Okay, we need to actually survive our way to the door as well. We don't want to die on our way to the door once we obtain the key. We had not yet obtained the key, but that was something that dropped the blasters, which were sitting on P-switches in the bottom right. I guess that unblocks that red pipe on the right side, but I didn't know what that unblocked about the pipe and whether that would affect our ability to obtain a key. So let's get back down. Actually, watch the left side of the screen every now and then to see the progress of the blaster. Definitely is a bit of a survival fight once you get to the last phase of waiting for the blaster to be pushed. Like, it is a... definitely a little bit of a... well, stalling section while we try to get things under control. Look at that Cheep Cheep just very angrily trying to burn us with its little flappy wings. Okay, let's do this. And, oh wow. This one's going disastrously so far. Yeah, that attempt is gone. Yeah. Okay, mainly we need to watch out for the Cheep Cheeps. I feel like everything else should not be too hard to get under control. Of course, that's accounting for... oh, yeah, no, I see what's going on. That the Magic Koopas were spawning stuff like the Spinies. We can only hope that the Magic Koopas occasionally hit those blocks and give us something like a mushroom instead. I do see that the blocks are meant to be something hit by the Magic Koopas and not just something that is there to crush you. But that the initial setup was meant to get them on the track in such a way that they form a bit of a wall. Let's try to grab that mushroom once. We gotta hit the switch once more to lower that switch. Okay, dodge the cheap. Grab the mushroom. Yeah, feeling a little better about this now that we have the mushroom in tow and it's just a waiting segment. I don't see any cheeps still awaiting us bottom, so that is one issue we don't have to deal with for now. Oh, there's one. Yeah, the Magic Koopas have almost expended all the blocks that are available to them. That is an interesting way to make a Magic Koopa fight, though, by just giving them a limited amount of ammo in terms of things they are allowed to transform. It is an interesting concept. Now, why do I not yet have the key? Red pipe is open. Red pipe spawns Magic Koopas. Is there a specific one I need to kill here? Oh, whoops. Or do I just go up the pipe? No, I need the key. I very clearly need the key. And it looks like, yeah, all that time I was not able to access this initial Magic Koopa that was over there to the right side, so it looks like I need to kill that one. I need to basically nuke Magic Koopas until I kill that one specifically. I don't know if I even mind that the shell is bouncing around down there. Just try to let some of these blocks clear out first. Okay. Hang on. Mushroom, that's very useful. Yeah, no use getting rid of the Magic Koopas when they do just respawn. I do eventually want to get rid of the one that is currently under the pipe. So we'll just need to keep our eyes on that when the dropping of the blasters from the P-switch allows that interaction to happen and releases that Magic Koopa from its little one-tile perch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I guess, yeah, it's a winged Magic Koopa that is on the right side, and that's why you had the winged transformations, right? Like, that's how I think it works. And so that's where some of the mushroom respawns were coming from. Was from the mushroom transformations. Yeah, very subtle change, actually, to have that one Magic Koopa be the one with wings. Shelling the on-off switch from this position, that's something that we hadn't considered before. Okay. Let's wrap around. We still need to drop the blaster 2 more rungs. Yeah, the winged one has the key. I am noticing the wings. And also the wings on all the objects that are being transferred. I think also just come from the fact... Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, you have this initial run of Koopas. Here. Clear out a bit. Oh, we are trapped. We are so trapped. Okay. Trapped again. Yeah, no getting out of that one. Giant Magic Koopas give you propeller heads. I actually did not know that because I had not really played around with them in NSMBU. Like, I've only made one Magic Koopa level myself, and it was the most recent one I uploaded. And that was in 3D World, so up until then I had not really experimented with the variants to see what they would do differently. Okay, let's wrap around here. Head down, hit the switch. But I finally make some use out of the Fire Flower, only to lose it immediately. Yeah, we are now in the pushing phase on the blaster, so let's just dodge carefully, grab mushrooms when they appear, if they appear, and then look for the winged Magikoopa for the final part of obtaining the key. Yep, just all execution at this point and playing around some of the occasional randomness of transformations. Okay, winged guy is down there, winged guy is to the left. We just have to wait for him in a favorable position. Oh, wow. Right in the face. Shot by the PlayStation button missiles, as you may have heard them called. Okay. Let's just try to lower all this immediately, and we'll have a mushroom available. Great. No, the mushroom is going to be transformed. So much for that. Yeah, trapped again. It's okay, we're getting close, we're getting close. We've hit the key a few times. We've hit the key phase, rather, a few times. Managing to play around everything else. Okay, over this. Dodge that. Let's grab that mushroom if we can. We can't. Okay, that's fine. On state does not matter while the blaster has been lowered to the bottom level, so let's just stay on our toes. Keep an eye out for a mushroom like one that is coming over now. Yeah. And just wait for the pushing phase. Yeah, I feel like the pushing phase, relative to everything else, is like a tiny bit long. But that's because you do have that additional phase that feels a little more interactive, right? When you actually hunt remaining Koopa. So that's okay. That was too much of a wait. Me too. Cautiously allow the one with the wings to come over to this side. Yeah, because there's already a little bit of waiting in this segment while you wait for an opportunity to hit the guy with the wings who was just there on the bottom and who just smacked us. So the pushing phase, like, it's... You know, it adds a bit of tension, certainly. I do wonder about the timing on it. I mean, it's fine, it's perfectly playable. More just a matter of pacing, right? Like, it feels very much like a final phase. But it's actually just the second last one. Okay, we are messing this up quite badly. Come on, let's try to get a mushroom spawn in here. Okay. Yeah, we'll just have to wait this one out. Almost there. Oh, that Cheep Cheep is extremely threatening. Very intimidating for a little bit of fried fish. Okay, the mushroom got transformed. Which is too bad. I could have really used that mushroom. Winged guy is down there. Oh, no, missed him. Yeah, I don't mind little chasey segments like this, but that's a bit of a risk when you don't have very many spots that allow the Magikoopa to be hit, just because of the tightness of the chamber here. Like, yeah, because it actually seems like from most positions, the Magic Koopa is actually very well defended from above, which, you know, that's part of the design. Like, you want to make it a bit of a chase to get it into the right position. My goodness, those Cheep Cheeps. 35 seconds, yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like we can get this. It's just a matter of like getting a decent roll on the transformations and where the projectiles are going. You know, when you lose a mushroom to the Magic Koopa projectiles, that's something that's a bit of a setback, but you know, there's not a good way to design Magic Koopa fights to be more reliable when they will inherently just do that to you from time to time. Okay, we do have a spare mushroom that we don't need for once. We haven't actually hit the switch yet. We gotta lower this whole thing. Weren't paying attention. Okay, cycle down here. Up here, whoa. Close one. Okay, now we can actually stop watching the conveyors and just watch the main screen of the fight on the right side. And we're almost totally out of hard blocks for a mushroom transformation. Hard boss fights? Yeah, I've seen harder. I think this one just requires a lot of improvisation. Like, I like boss fights, and that's, you know, I like being able to read how all the different interactive parts work with each other and what they're trying to signal to me, but yeah, I generally enjoy playing boss designs in Mario Maker. Because they really squeeze a lot out of what you can do with the engine. And I do think timed survival is something that is maybe a bit difficult to design well, but usually that's because it's like a lot of the timed survival fights tend to have a relative lack of interactivity where you do have long waiting phases. Like, imagine if this fight were just entirely waiting for the Muncher to push the blaster, like then I think it would be a little bit bland. But because you have a mix of some of the interactive parts in here, where you can, you know, hit the switches, hunt for the Magic Koopa, etc., like, that makes it a bit more interesting. Missed. Not that guy. Not this guy either. We at least have a mushroom going into this phase that makes things a bit more manageable. Where's... Oh, okay, we don't even know who had the wings now because it's, we knocked off his wings with the first hit. I need to just attack all of them now, and I've just completely lost track. Yeah, I don't mind at all if you make a boss fight just for us. Yeah, those of you still in queue, I will get to you if there's anyone still online after you. I am spending a bit of time on this simply because we are very close and we are on the last phase of this whole level. And besides, Hyperion gave me a sub, and that, you know, subjectively alters things. Okay, we gotta hit the switch. So, switch. And also just, well, the main consideration is that I'm actually enjoying this fight quite a bit. Just need to fix that last phase, where so far we've only done as well as getting one hit off the Winged Koopa, which actually causes some additional difficulty in that it disguises it for the second part of that phase. Okay, let's actually remember to hit the switches this time so we can maximize our uptime for what remains after that. Whoa. Gotta wait for a mushroom. We can. Okay, let's see if we're actually going to be given one. Nope. Okay, we need to, yeah, get the switches down as soon as possible. Not get squished by the blocks. Get that down. Okay, great. We had a fairly swift time heading over to the push phase. Now, yeah, we just kind of endure this part here. Blaster just sort of inches towards this objective. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it does give the Magic Koopas some time to just clear out the arena a little bit and send all those blocks away. Oh, okay. Trapped by a Cheep Cheep again. That we will not have a mushroom going into this phase. Whoop. Land directly on our heads. Just give me a second while I see what our uptime is on this level. I'm not skipping it yet. We are at about half an hour on it though, so I do intend to beat it. But... okay, we'll lower that. Great, no hits so far. We have the benefit of fire and the extra hit that comes with it. Yeah, retaining the fire flower up to this phase does perhaps make things a little more manageable. Particularly if the Cheep Cheeps come out again, like that would be something that this helps mitigate. And also clears out some of the Magic Koopas, as you can see. Whoops, lost a fire. Okay. That's fine, that got us through most of that phase safely. We just need to hunt the Magic Koopa now. This feels like a reasonable attempt. It's just that, you know, these things can fall apart pretty quickly if you let things like the Magic Koopa spawns get out of control. There's that guy. Got him once. He's now on the left. Okay, tracking him. He's gonna be the next one who appears. Let's get him. Yeah, got him. Yeah, I just had to remember that time after I took off the wings to track who was still warping. And once I was able to track him, I could hunt him. Yeah, really good fight, actually. Really good fight. Obviously, you know, a bit of a claustrophobic location and a lot to play around in terms of what the Magic Koopas can spawn. The Cheep Cheeps being probably the most troublesome and misleading thing. Yeah, I wonder if, you know, like if you were to do a similar fight again, like you don't need to change this one, but if you were to do a similar fight again, I definitely think that having the blocks in the arena cause some problems, especially because they are spawning things that are flying anyway, but I'm not sure if there's a better way to place them, like sort of along the edge of the wall and still have the collisions work, because I assume that the projectiles would kind of prioritize the wall over that. I don't know, maybe against one-way panels or something. Like, I'm just thinking about how you might rework those so that the blocks crushing you are not one of the threats. But thank you for that, and thank you for the GGs. Let's see what's left. I don't imagine that there's much left. Okay, very little left, actually. B key, I think, is gone. And the FXL, I think, may also be gone. So this might actually be the thing we finished on, which is nice because I'm glad we took the time to wrap it up properly. Yeah, very smooth 5-minute clear on the world record on this one. But yeah, that's the only thing. I totally see what the intent of the blocks is in terms of giving the Magic Koopa something to hit, but given, yeah, as I was saying, given that everything that spawns from them will be winged anyway and the collisions don't really matter, I definitely feel like, you know, putting them in front of the Magic Koopa in such a way that they aren't in Mario's way necessarily might have worked better. But, you know, you're working with a pretty limited amount of space just given the layout to begin with. Like, the whole fight is going to be claustrophobic no matter what you do. But actually figuring out a method to do the Magic Koopa hunt in the phase was pretty satisfying. So I'm just going to do one last check for both B-Key and for FXL, but in their absence, it looks like we'll finish right here. I'll just check that. Yeah, usually when we blast through some levels near the end, I will, leave some time for one or two more, but I think today this will be the time that we are closing up. And so let's take out XL as well. And yeah, that'll be a wrap for today. So as far as plans go from this point onwards, some of you may have noticed that Twitch kind of has a new interface for the scheduling display. I may or may not use that to kind of schedule the upcoming streams, but for those of you who are returning, you can kind of get a sense of what our progress has been from week to week in terms of where we have been streaming. Yeah, we typically, as you know, do the late night slot a couple times a week and do streams that are not necessarily viewer levels over the weekends. I haven't quite determined what it'll be this weekend. It might be more catching up, it might be playing some Worlds. If you are dropping by, of course, as a sub, I'll certainly give you some priority to see a few more of these. I'm thinking at some point that we'll probably want to do a day that's just like, mostly bosses or mostly puzzles and just have a themed day, but that's something that I think I'll have to sort of set up and advertise in advance, so we'll see. It'll be plenty more Mario Maker to come the coming week, and we'll do a few more of these broadcasts in the late slot. Some viewer levels and some not. So, thank you very much for joining me. As is typical, I will send you off to another stream that is doing Mario Maker, probably something that is just starting up viewer levels. And usually have plenty of good streamers on at this time, so I'll try to send you all off to somebody pleasant. So that will be all from me. Have a good evening or good night wherever you are.